off been cutting off like the front of our podcast for like 2 weeks. I don't know if y'all have noticed it. The front and the end of our podcast have just been cut in half. So anyway, welcome to a One Take Podcast, episode 182. We've been off for about a week, but we told y'all we were coming back with some heat. Alien Romulus.
Banger.
And we're back.
We are back.
We're back. All the poopy pants nerds on Twitter that hate movies are going to tell you that that this is bad and you shouldn't watch it. We're here as the certified movie boys to tell you, shut up.
They're lying.
Shut up.
Shut up. This movie rocks. Like,
Have fun for once in your life. God damn it.
Yeah. But other than that, how are we doing? Tej, you were saying all your coworkers talked about Alien Romulus. So
Yeah,
people are out there.
People people I did not know were really big in the movies in my office were definitely watching Alien Romulus this weekend, which makes sense. It made $100 million. And it was great fun. And all my coworkers, varying ages and varying amounts of love for movies, apparently loved the Alien franchise and had a perfectly good time watching some fan service IP because, it was a fun time at the movie theaters. And I stand with them. I also had a great time watching a little bit of fan service. So what?
I stand with them.
And Dex, you were saying that people were in there to see It Ends With Us.
Yeah, I went and saw this movie a day early at a screening or whatever. So all the normies were there to watch It Ends With Us and pray on the downfall of Blake Lively, I guess.
Like Tej.
Which we can talk about later.
Guys, I've been really enjoying praying on the downfall of Blake Lively. And I don't even have anything against her. I'm just a messy bitch who loves drama. I love it.
It's insane to me. That's America's sweetheart right there. How could you? But yeah, somebody behind me in line said they hadn't been to the movie theater since No Hard Feelings came out. I wanted to vomit. Like that's
crazy.
And they couldn't even remember the name of the movie. Also, which
the Jennifer Lawrence movie
makes it
to be fair. Worse. That film isn't good, so I stand with them in that regard.
But it's fine. But here's the thing: it was like Labor Day last year.
Yeah, they should. I mean, like you gotta get to the movie theaters, guys. There's good stuff happening. Hey, Furiosa, it came out. It's streaming now. You can watch it. We told y'all weeks ago, because we're the only 3 people on the internet who have seen this film. It's fucking good. It's a good movie. Who cares about the box office? Enjoy a good movie. Furiosa, stream it. It's amazing.
Granted,
go to the movies. It's fun.
Yeah, Twisters is still doing day and date stuff. Like they're still pretty heavy in theaters, but they did release on streaming, which I think is just now the new norm. But I'm glad they're keeping it in like multiple screens and multiple theaters for Twisters, because that deserves all the money that it can get in theaters, and you should see that. It's tough to watch it at home, but like my coworker was like, saw the new Twisters movie. I was like, oh, what'd you think about it in the theater? He's like, I rented it. I was like, no. Granted, they have a young kid that recalibrates everything, I guess, when you want to go see movies. Especially, you're not going to go see Twisters, but I was like, oh, it hit me right in the chest.
I got to say, renting a movie digitally is the worst way to watch movies. It's just the worst of all worlds. Like, you don't get the coolness of seeing it in theaters. You don't even get to pay for it and watch it multiple times, but you still have to pay for it. It's
pay $20 for it.
I agree. That is not. I will go find it illegally if it comes to that. But I just don't. I hate it. I think it's the worst. At least you're either going to let me own the movie, and by own I mean be able to stream the movie whenever I want to, or you're going to give me the movie theater experience. The middle ground of that is a no man's land for me. No, thank you. It's
right. So we are talking about a movie we all saw in theaters, which you should see in theaters. Kind of deserves the big screen treatment. Alien Romulus, the newest Alien movie from writer-director Fede Alvarez, director of Don't Breathe, what you might know. He also directed the sort of reboot sequel to The Evil Dead in 2013. Also written by Rodo Seguias, who is his writing partner on this movie, if I'm pronouncing that wrong. I do it with everyone, partner. Sorry. Alien Romulus, of course, is rated R, hour 59 minutes.
Wait, don't forget, he also did one of the Girls with the Dragon Tattoo sequels.
Did he really?
A movie that it was way better than it had any business being.
Oh, one of the American Girl with the Dragon Tattoo sequels?
One of the American ones.
7.5 on IMDb, 64 Metascore. While scavenging the deep ends of a derelict space station, a group of young space colonists come face to face with the most terrifying life form in the universe. I'll give you 2 guesses as to what that is.
Predators.
Right. Well, that was, that's a good guess, but it's the wrong guess. Stars every, like young person in Hollywood. Again, that's several of these movies that we've gotten this year. Kind of an unknown cast, except for I think it's Kaylee Spaney. I've been calling her Callie. It's Kaylee Spaney, David Johnson, Isabella Marced, Archie Renault, Spike Fern, and Aline Wu.
Shout out to Isabella Merced, Dora the Explorer.
Yeah, she's carved for herself a pretty good career. She's in the Sicario sequel. Of course, she was Dora the Explorer. She's in like a Michael Bay Transformers movie. Wait.
Dora the Explorer was in this film?
Yeah, she was the pregnant girl.
She is the voice of Dora the Explorer?
No, she is the live action Nick Dora the Explorer. They made a live action version of it that actually did got good reviews and did pretty good business.
Yeah, decent movie.
Yeah. So
I had no idea they made a Dora the Explorer movie. I had literally no idea that
it's lost in the cultural vacuum of 2019. Wow.
Oh, it's just I think Michael Pena's in that movie. It just I don't know who's obviously parents with kids saw it, but I don't know. It is lost to time. But
she was the pregnant one?
Yes. It's not really a spoiler. Hispanic.
Okay, got it. I was wondering if they let a white girl play Dora the Explorer. I was going to have some issues. Okay.
No, that would be weird. Can you imagine?
Well, hey, we shouldn't put it past Hollywood. I mean, look at ScarJo.
I was going to say Scarlett Johansson as Dora the Explorer.
I love Tom Cruise. They let that man play a samurai. They had no rules back then.
So this movie's doing pretty well at the theaters. It was on track to make $100 million over the weekend. $80 million budget. Do you want to guess the box office for worldwide gross?
I think I saw it. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I saw domestic. I saw something close to $100 million. So I guess world, I would guess $170 million.
I was going to guess 175.
110, so less than y'all are expecting, but more than what I think people thought it was going to do.
The world isn't fucking with. The only Americans watch alien movies. Is that real?
42 million opening weekend in U.S. and Canada, 110 across the rest of the planet.
Okay, that makes sense. The number I saw was close. Got it. That makes sense.
Which, comparatively, this is a mid-tier budget compared to what I think Ridley Scott was popping out with his last 2 alien movies, Prometheus and Alien Covenant. And I believe those movies were over $100 million back in even 2012 and 2017 when I think he made those. So they scaled down this budget. Obviously, I think the cast has a lot to do with that.
What was the budget? 80 million, you said?
80 million. So around sort of the same amount of budget that 20th Century Studios has spent on the Prey movie. I think Prey was probably less, but the Prey movie and The Creator, all of these sort of high-end
kind of blockbustery
sci-fi movies that they've been sort of dipping their toe into, especially with
crazy that $80 million is a mid-tier movie. That doesn't even make sense. But the movies you're describing, they look like they cost $80 million. I thought The Creator looked great.
Yeah,
but you could tell it's not a $200 million movie. Ant-Man cost $200 million. It looked like complete shit. It looked horrible.
It is crazy that they have Disney, in case you've been living under a rock, Disney bought Fox. So that's why you get the X-Men now, by the way. Mm-hmm. Happy birthday. But the thing they also did was just buy 20th Century Studios. So with that, they bought the IP to dozens and dozens of properties outside of just Marvel. I think the main reason they did it was because they wanted the Marvel properties. Obviously, that's the moneymaker. But a side note to that, they got Predator. So they gave us a Prey movie, which is awesome. If you haven't seen it on Hulu, give us a sequel, you cowards.
The best Predator movie that exists. No disrespect to Sylvester Stallone. They made the best Predator movie that has ever existed. That's insane.
Yeah, Prey is in the One Take Podcast Hall of Fame. We bring up that movie all the time because it fucking rules.
Fede Alvarez, by the way, teased a Predator Prey sequel with Dan Trachtenberg.
He said let Trachtenberg direct one half of the movie and he direct the other half of the movie.
Yeah.
Sign me up, guys. I mean, you got my money already.
It's
That's
just crazy enough to work.
Right. And anyway, so what they've been doing with 20th Century is, I mean, we saw the creator. We have mixed feelings on the creator. It still looks good, but they've been putting money into the sort of creatives, sci-fi directors. This is also a horror movie mostly, but giving sort of creatives this amount of money, almost this specific amount of money to make these sort of highbrow sci-fi movies. And so that's been a really cool pivot from 20th Century.
Let's just assume that it is true that the creator, Alien Romulus, and Prey are in the same price point range. They're all around $80 million. Maybe Prey is around $60 million. How much money does John David Washington get for a movie like that? Because the cast of the other two movies, you could tell that's where they saved money. No disrespect to this cast, well, I thought they did an incredible job. But getting Johnson from industry and getting Spaney before Civil War came out could not have been the most expensive things in the world. But John David Washington has headlined a major blockbuster in Tenet. What do y'all think the price difference was between putting John David Washington in the middle of your $80 million movie and putting our two leads in this movie in the middle of your $80 million movie?
I mean, it definitely saves money. I just saw on Wikipedia, so take it for it was. Prey was $65 million, so they even saved money there. But, you know, Amber Midthunder, who we sing the praises of this, like nobody knew who Amber Midthunder is. I still would bet a lot of people don't know who Amber Midthunder is.
Thanks.
And so I would, a lot of it, I think that's kind of where it saves you some of the money. Now, these people will, I think, then go on to get better work. And I think Kaylee Spaney's trajectory is
the price is up on Kaylee Spaney. Whatever you paid her for this movie and paid her for Civil War, you're not getting her for that rate anymore. She's got a lot going on this year.
But even the creator had a bigger cat, like Ken Watanabe's in that movie, and so is John David Washington. So
Jimmy Chan, Allison Janney.
How did the creator look that good for $80 million and have that cast? That's not a cheap cast.
And they got music by Hans Zimmer.
I maintain that he is a really.
Did they do that?
He's a really good. Hold on, I know the name of the guy. Sorry that I'm blanking on it, but let's see.
The creator literally won an Oscar for how good it looked.
Yeah, Gareth Edwards, I maintain, is a brilliant visionary filmmaker. His storytelling, notwithstanding, and so
let somebody else write the script because the creator had a lot of issues on that front. But that shit looked so cool. It looked so good.
Yeah, nominated for Best Visual Effects, but it lost to Godzilla -1 for obvious reasons.
Oh, that's fair. They both were great, but come on. One of them had real cinema at the center of it, and one of them was the creator.
Yeah, that is, fair. I think that our guy that did Alex Garland, I think that our guy that did Civil War should just go back straight to writing and let Gareth Edwards direct his films. That'd be great. Although his directing in Civil War was better than what his writing was in Civil War. So I don't know how that's working for Alex. Maybe focus on one or the other. But so Alien Romulus. Dex, you tweeted we got to stop doing debuts with certain score on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah,
because it debuted with a 97% on Rotten Tomatoes. It is now down to an 81% on Rotten Tomatoes, 86% audience score, honoring its nightmarish predecessors while chest bursting at the seams with new frights of its own. Romulus injects some fresh acid blood into one of cinema's greatest horror franchises. So let's start literally right there with horror, because Dex, you mainline these movies, meaning the first two Alien movies and then Prometheus, which is what I think Tej put you on before this podcast. There are horror elements in Aliens and of course in Prometheus too, but the real horror movie is the first one, and they've all sort of, as I understand it, divulged into exploring different themes. This feels like the first one to really be a horror movie to me. And people are going to yell at me because I haven't seen Aliens 3 or Alien Resurrection.
Don't
But
watch Aliens 3. It's not. I watched it
I was
yesterday.
not planning on doing
it's
that.
not
To
good.
be honest with you.
But this feels
Fincher
like
made it. It's crazy that Fincher made a movie that is that bad. It's crazy.
right, but this feels like to me, and I'll have to go back and I'll watch, streamline those other movies, and maybe Alien Covenant is more so this than not. But the most popular ones now are Alien 1, Alien 2, and Prometheus, which I think a lot of people have reclaimed. All that to say, this feels like one of the ones where, for better or for worse, and people have this complaint about it, they really went back to what Alien was.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you agree or disagree with that. Take it away from there.
Yeah, I do agree with that. I feel like, I think I said this on Twitter after I watched Aliens, the sequel. Aliens is more like badass than Alien.
A lot of hell yeah, brother.
Yeah, a lot of hell yeah, brother. It's the military. They're like in mech suits. They're doing all this.
Yeah, they don't have any guns in Alien.
Yeah.
In Aliens 2, they're fucking armed to the teeth. It's hell yeah, brother cinema.
They were just like, fuck it, we're gonna make a war movie, and the war is against one alien. Or
the guy who created Avatar knew early on people want some fucking cool suits and some guns.
Which, like, that's cool, but I just like the Alien, the original. It's just very like low key. It's not low key, but it's like it's not trying to be so grand in scope as Aliens. It's.
I wanted to say, and I meant to tell y'all this the other day. I was telling somebody about Aliens. We were talking about it at work, and I was just saying I miss it back in the days, and John Wick kind of does this now, but I miss back in the days when they were just like, we're just gonna do the movie again, except for we have no other reason to make this movie other than we want to. There was no reason for them to, because they don't solve anything or don't answer any questions really in Aliens. When I went and watched it, they just kind of like, this is where we left off and we want to do it again, so we're just going to do it bigger. And I miss when sequels did that, and John Wick kind of fills that hole. But anyway, I miss when we did that in the 80s. We did it all the time. Rambo 2, we just did it.
Yeah, they're like, fuck it, let's do it again. We're back. But yeah, I like the kind of more straightforward, like very efficient approach of Alien, where it's like we got like 7 people on a ship, 6 of them are gonna get got by an alien. It's gonna be real creepy and real tense, and we're gonna leave it at that. And Romulus kind of goes back to that formula, which works for me. I didn't need them in mech suits fighting off an alien horde or whatever. Like, it's okay for this to just be 6 people on a ship fighting an alien or multiple aliens and a barbarian. But yeah, I thought this movie ruled, man. I had fun from the beginning. The AI Andy in this movie, he has,
we want to spoil it.
Yeah.
Oh, AI. No, sorry. AI Andy.
He didn't spoil it.
Okay. You were talking about, sorry. Well, there's a big plot point in this movie that I think people have pooped their pants over. But anyway, continue.
We won't spoil it yet, but after
I was talking about
our intros, we won't. Yeah.
Right. David Johnson's character.
Yeah, he rules in this. He's so cool. He has so much to do, and he does it all really well. You're like very compelled by him. The other AI characters in the Alien movies that I've seen, I never really give a fuck about. Like, live, die, who cares? But Andy, I was like, I need you to live. I need this to work out for our boy Andy, which I feel like is always a great sign. We can care whether the characters live or die. Callie Spaney, I'm in and out on her. She was pretty good in Civil War. Priscilla is a giant stinker of snooze fest. I can't really blame her for that, but like,
How was she in Priscilla?
As sleepy as everybody else. I don't know. It just, that movie just stinks all around.
They are going to come for you, Dex.
Save it.
They're going to come for you.
Yeah, they can. That's fine. Civil War, she was, not bad, not great. Like, she was all right. But this one, I think she did her thing, and I was going to be all by her the entire time. This movie is a lot scarier than Aliens and Prometheus. Not quite as scary as Alien, I would say. But I would kind of put them like in the same tier, I guess. But yeah, man, I really like this movie. I'm not a big like super fan of the franchise or whatever. I didn't even, the major plot point Royden was just alluding to. I didn't even like realize that was a thing until Rascal, who I was with at the screening, was like, "Oh shit!" Like, I didn't even like register it until Rascal started freaking out next to me. So yeah, all the fan service kind of went over my head a little bit, except for like very obvious shit. Like, but yeah, I had a really good time with this. I'll probably watch it again at some point. This was a lot of fun. I'll watch a sequel if they make a sequel. I'll give it a B.
Solid B. Teach, you have watched more of these than any of us, but give us your take.
I liked it a lot. I am an Alien and Aliens truther. I like them both, even though I prefer Alien because one, it's the first one that I saw, and two, I like the aspects of the aspects of Alien are more on the facehugger variety and less of the big version of the Alien variety. I like the small guys. I like the facehuggers. I like implanting the women with the aliens and the chest busters. Though that is the part of Alien I like. The big alien that was fighting Predator, I can take or leave him, to be honest. Like, I'm not, and there's a lot of him in the second movie. They're obviously hiding that big reveal for most of the first movie, but in the second movie, now we got big ass guns, so we can have more big ass aliens. And I didn't necessarily need that. You didn't need a whole bunch of big ass aliens on the first movie because it's just a whole bunch of random people with no combat training on the ship. So you can get them out of here pretty quickly, which is what happened in Alien. I really like the way this movie kind of weaves its setup. Obviously, the plot of every Alien movie is kind of the same. People get on a spaceship. They're going somewhere they probably shouldn't be going for some reason. They get there. Shit starts going bad. They start to contemplate life. There's probably going to be a woman who gets pregnant or gets an alien put inside her, and our heroine is usually going to make it out. Alien 3 accepted because they literally let Fincher kill that woman, which is crazy to think about. But anyway.
They brought her back 100 years later.
They did 100 years later as like a fake version, but they literally let Fincher kill her in probably the worst Alien movie ever made, outside of Alien versus Predator movies.
Those don't count.
I like the way they kind of weave this plot. Kaylee Spaney in this movie, I thought she was fine. I was probably more moved by her Civil War performance, to be honest, but I'm definitely buying the stock. I was in on her. But it's Johnson. It's Johnson who just blew me away from beginning to end. I just think he's given so many turns and so many things to do, like Dex said, that he's always, every moment he's on screen, whether you like the writing in that particular moment or not, he's always so compelling. I am an industry watcher and an industry truther, so I have known of him because I've been watching industry, but seeing him in this kind of role was really fun. I just thought he crushed it. The way they kind of get through the story, which is like she's on this planet and they're all coal miners, immediately makes this different than most of the other Alien movies outside of Aliens 3, because usually the alien setup is a whole bunch of people at work that are dealing with the aliens, which is very different than a group of people. There are pirates. They're kind of on a romp. Like, obviously, there's people on the ship with anger problems. There are people on the ship that are scared and not having as much fun. But really, this is like an adventure. This kind of feels like a Star Wars movie in the first.
It's like the Goonies go to space.
Yeah, like I was like, wow, this is definitely giving me Star Wars vibes. We got some laughs in here. We got this very charming robot who's literally stuttering. It's like, you don't even know he's a robot. The way they reveal that he's a robot is kind of cool. She calls him her brother. You kind of thrown off how she have a black brother. It all comes together pretty nice. I think that the way that is written is really, really good of getting you into the world. And I just thought, okay, there's a lot of this movie that is literally Alien, like literally, like verbatim. People have compared this to The Force Awakens because they're saying that is basically A New Hope. This is not as close to Alien as The Force Awakens is to A New Hope. But the things they have in common are they both fucking bang. They're both a fun time. I'm sorry. I don't care if you like A New Hope and don't like Force Awakens. I don't care that's the same movie. Both of those shits bang. I have a good time watching A New Hope. I have a good time watching The Force Awakens. Anyway, I just thought they did a good job of capturing what you love about Alien movies. And then our third act is something completely new, something you've never seen in an Alien movie. Now we turn it up to the Alien scale. We got acid. We got gravity shutting shit down. We got a cool-ass scene on the elevator shaft. That stuff is heart-pounding. It's riveting, and it's novel. That's not stuff that you've seen in an Alien movie before. So it's not like he's just making the same movie. he's got his own contribution and something that's different and cool to add to an already existing good cast, good thrills. I had a pretty good time with it. I would give it an A- because of the big reveal, which did not take away from my experience of the movie at all. But also, I didn't care about it. I was like, this isn't adding to my experience of the movie. But I just generally, from start to finish, I was never bored. I had a good time at the movie theater, and I am excited that this film exists. And it was as good as I could have expected an Alien film to be, the 7th or 8th Alien film to be. I had a pretty good time with it. A-.
Right. I mean, you were going to have the look. I think people are decrying like the bastardization of IP and we're just stuck in this IP culture and they had to make something because they'll lose this IP or something or another. But I don't know. I wanted to see more Alien films, and Ridley Scott, God bless him, is busy making Gladiator 2 and other epic war movies that nobody's watching. And I love Ridley Scott. I'm not detracting from him, but nobody saw the Napoleon film. So anyway,
I did.
We all did. We did do that. And there was good. You were going to have to figure out a way to continue that. They weren't going to let Alien fall off into the ether. They weren't going to just let this go into deep space, if you will. And I think finding a way to try and fill in some holes that are kind of connected, semi-connected, while expanding this universe, but also, like, you weren't ever going to bring back Sigourney Weaver. She's damn near 80 years old, and so introducing us to this new ragtag group of people, introducing us to a new heroine, introducing us to an AI that we haven't really seen, an android that we haven't really seen. That at first I was like, is this guy neurodivergent? What's going on with this character? And that was sort of an interesting representation of what they were trying to do with that character. With was it Andy? Yeah, with Andy, yes. And David Johnson's playing just this sort of shy, introverted character that Rain, Kaylee Spaney's character, is sort of dragging along on this thing and dragging along through real life, and their connection is great. There's a couple of things that we'll get into in spoilers. This is going to be one of the ones where we try not to spoil it, because there are some things that I think may skew your view of the movie, and I think but people are already ruining it on Twitter, because nothing's sacred anymore. We just forgot about spoilers post end game. People just stopped doing it. But the even going as far as to post scenes from the movie on Twitter now.
I saw that.
I was like, what are we doing? Regardless,
pulling out your phone to record the screen in the movie and then tweeting those clips.
Ugh.
Have some decorum,
some couth, some wherewithal. I thought Kaylee Spaney was game the entire time. She makes a really good final girl. Obviously nowhere near as good as the original Sigourney Weaver in Alien, but there was moments where they obviously do some callbacks. The alien gets in her face. She looks like she's in peril and disgusted some of the times, and she genuinely looks frightened a lot of the time. And I appreciated her performance. I thought she did a really good job. It also is way different from the Sigourney Weaver performance, because Sigourney Weaver's 6 foot tall, and Kaylee Spaney's 5'2", maybe. She's tiny, and so it makes for a really cool juxtaposition there. But especially her against the 7 foot tall alien creatures. And no, I thought the comparisons to Star Wars, I think, are valid in that, but this to me, and some people compared it to Rogue One, people compared it to, like you said, The Force Awakens. I thought it is sort of more Rogue One, because they are literally filling in a gap of time that we know
one of the movies
nothing about. And I guess Force Awakens kind of does that, but Force Awakens is starting a whole new branch timeline almost of that universe. This is filling in between what I believe Covenant and the original Alien. And
no, this is between Alien and Aliens.
Alien and Aliens. Okay, yeah. So it's filling in just a group of time. And to me, I think that's a really good idea to get new people and just keep putting them in the same sort of thing. At a certain point, nothing is new under the sun. We're going to have to crib from some of these movies to make a new movie. It just is what it is. And some of the choices, again, with characters they put in the movie and some of the references may make you cringe and may make you eye roll, but those things did not take away from me having a good time at an Alien movie.
Not even a little bit. And Alien movies are not ever supposed to have ever been taken so seriously. The guy who made these movies is Ridley Scott. If you've been watching his movies, he's not taking them that seriously.
Not a serious man.
What are you guys doing, guys? Why are you taking this so much seriously than the guy who made it? That's insane to me.
He was comparing. He has sound bites of him comparing or saying that Jesus was a what was the things from Prometheus? The
engineers. He's like,
Jesus was an engineer.
He doesn't give a shit about this. Come on, guys, get over yourselves.
And I think people have started taking those recent two movies that Scott has done, where he has diverged from what the original Alien, I think, book was, and sort of gone on to try and build this lore behind Alien of trying to explain the nature of life and the nature of men's creation and all of these heady things, while also surrounding it by disgusting kills from aliens and white blood and all this stuff. And like, what is consciousness and all, and trying to form that. And people kind of got lost in the sauce while reclaiming those movies. When they came to this movie, they're like, wait, what the fuck is this? And they're like, maybe it's a fun alien movie.
If you talk about the first Alien, none of it is about how did humans get here. There isn't any of that stuff in the movie.
None.
Yeah. Every time we make a new movie, we're making new iterations on the universe. But now y'all who hated the fucking prequels anyway are now using them to bash this new movie because it doesn't necessarily concern itself with the high level ideas that those movies concern themselves with. That's crazy. Y'all bash. I was there. Y'all bash Prometheus and y'all bash Covenant, rightfully so. But y'all bash these movies. Prometheus is fun. I'm sorry, guys. Y'all are taking Alien too fucking seriously. Just enjoy the ride. And if you get bored, jump off the ride. You didn't get bored watching Prometheus. That shit bangs. You like it. Like, what are you talking about, guys?
There are a lot of nerds who got caught up in Ridley Scott attempting his myth making. And those are the people who tried to reclaim this movie who are like, yeah, it actually makes total sense that like engineers made humans and then we're going to kill them. That's like the Bible, and that makes this important. Like, no, bro. Like, it's not important. It's an alien movie. Let's all relax a little bit.
Yeah, I'd have to go back and read about it, but I don't think the original book, the source material of this, is even that serious either. I think it's pop alien cinema off the back of 2001: A Space Odyssey and so on and so forth. And in fact, Ridley Scott made Alien because he saw Star Wars in theaters and was like, shit, I need to make something cool like that. And he made Alien, which
made House of Gucci. Guys, please just calm down a tad bit. Watch House of Gucci. The accents are so ridiculous. You can tell this guy is not taking these movies seriously. He just wants you to go to the theater and have a good time. So please stop.
I mean, look, somebody put on Twitter, and this is the joke as old as time. Once Prometheus and Covenant came out, oh man, I want you to make a really good Alien movie. What are you doing? And then Alien Romulus comes out. And then, no, not like that. And I digress. I just think that I think that you can do way worse with pop sci-fi cinema and horror movies, by the way, which I think this is a really good at certain points. Fede Alvarez is like, remember that I came from Don't Breathe. I'm the guy that made that movie. And he really scares the shit out of you a few times. And I think that the way that this movie looks, it sounds, it's loud as hell. It's so loud. In its design and set design, you can tell that they've built all these awesome sets and they're not, they've gone places, especially there's a huge shot of like an escalator scene or whatever, where they're walking up and down through this ship. And you can tell that they went certain places to film this. And it just looks really good and sounds really good, and everybody's giving a committed performance, and things are frightening. And I just had a really good time with it. I think people are getting lost in the sauce about some of the digital creations, and we can talk about that. But I had a really good time, other than the fact that the guy that I was sitting next to had to have been on cocaine. And he was wigging me out.
He watched the movie the correct way. That's
right.
What you're saying.
No, he watched the movie the way that Ridley Scott intended. I am fully open to the fact. I'm fully open to the possibility that this man had other circumstances that I wasn't aware of. But he sprinted up to his seat. He had a drink in hand. He was then fidgeting under his fingernails the entire time, switching his legs. And also, this is the thing that I was concerned about. He came in, and you know how every seat in a Cinemark reclines, which is what normal people do because it's more comfortable to watch a movie that way. Sat straight up and down in his chair the entire time. And was
red flag.
Yeah, I was like, what is going on here, dude?
He was fucking wired. He was locked in.
Would stand up, mess with his pants, sit back down. Mess with his keys, stand up in the middle of the movie, sit back down. And then at a certain point when the movie hit a lull, he sprinted outside. Just sprinted outside. I was like, surely he's going to the restroom. Came back, had blown down a cigarette. He smelled exactly like he had just smoked a dart in the middle of the movie. He was rolling on whatever. But I was watching him sometimes more than I was watching the movie. I'm like, what is happening here? And yeah, so anyway, I thought I looked weird as a single person going to movies. The guy next to me, let me tell you about him. Anyway, this happens to be a lot. Anyway, I give it a B plus. I really, I'm also going to have to see it again because I was distracted by cocaine in human form sitting next to me. But I gave it a B plus because I just had such a good time. And especially the third act, which we haven't really even touched on because I don't think we want to spoil it. I audibly did, oh shit. Like I let out an oh shit in the theater when the third act rolled around. Because it was unlike anything that I'd seen in these movies.
I had a couple oh shit moments in that third act that was like, whoa, we're going for it. We're doing this and we're having a fucking great time.
Yeah. I didn't expect to be the lowest grade on this movie, but where I took the most points off it was the third act because it just kept fucking going.
Well, that's an Alien movie, Dex.
I know.
Even tweeted this.
Wrap it up.
Man. He said something about this in the interview. He said that somebody told him the movie ends 4 times or something like that.
Yeah,
because it does. It's like, dude, wrap it up.
He said literally that's what Alien movies do.
It just kept being like
every
one
Alien.
Yeah, they all do.
And then another thing. Hold up. One more.
Every Alien movie is get to the nearest place with an airlock, but once you're at that airlock, the fight's not done. That is the whole premise of it. The first time that I watched Alien, I was like, oh, thank God. Oh, no.
Oh, no, it's not. They're not dead.
The first time I watched Alien, I was like, no, don't fucking go back for the dumbass cat. We don't care.
Right.
Get off the fucking ship. The fuck are we doing?
Yeah. So do we want to... I love that about it. They just all in 4 times, which is really funny. Do we want to do the spoiler alert when I think everybody sort of is pissing their pants over this movie about?
Yes.
Yeah, let's go.
But before you do that, I have a spoiler of a different type.
Sure.
Right now, it is 8:52 West Coast time, which means it is 11:52 East Coast time. And I guess 10:52 in Chicago. Joe Biden is public speaking right now.
Oh.
They have him up late. He is up this late.
No.
Why didn't they give him an earlier slot? Why is he talking now?
Oh,
That's crazy.
Also, we're still rolling out the Clintons for this stuff.
We are.
Hillary was up there. We rolled out Steve Kerr. Why didn't they put Biden in the Steve Kerr spot so Biden could be at home asleep by now?
Yeah.
Risky to have him up this late.
Got to give him an extra shot of adrenaline to see if he can.
Or he fucks it up and they're just like, see?
Got it. You know
we
what?
had to do it. We had to do it.
You see why we stabbed him in the back? We had no other choice.
Big Nance made the call. Like, you see?
Moving crazy out here, Big Nance. Yeah. And another thing. Okay, Joe.
Here's
Good
the
job.
deal.
Good job. Good job, Joe.
Cut
So
the malarkey.
cut the malarkey. No, so the big sort of I don't even know. I want to say I'll just say what happens in the movie, and then I'll say what has been the discourse on Twitter, because that's been the most annoying part about it. And maybe we're too chronically online, but welcome to this podcast. We're all chronically online. The the sort of driving plot of the movie, as always, is that the Wayland Otani company, who somebody had a great tweet the other day saying maybe the Wayland Otani company doesn't have their best interests at heart. The Wayland Otani company, they board this mega space station that's floating just outside of their planet. The Wayland Otani company owns the Romulus and Remus space station that's floating outside of their planet. Anyway, they went and got the alien that was floating out in space that Ripley ejects in the first Alien. So that sort of is what ties this movie to Romulus, Alien to Romulus.
Yep.
Of course, as always, something goes haywire. Alien escapes. This all happens off screen. Alien escapes. Everyone dies, except for an AI who they reboot, who they were performing an experience to try and, what they always say, make the what do they always call them, perfect creatures, but basically they're trying to make humans that won't get sick or die, and like these human hybrids that can terraform these planets without, getting black lung on this mining planet, basically, where they just come from. And of course it went haywire. But the AI that they reboot and find is a variant or mass-produced version, a different model of Ian Holmes' character Ash in Alien. This version has a name called Rook. But what they do is what they did in, I believe, Rogue One, is they sort of bring back to life a dead man, and they
not
digitally
a dead character, a dead man, like Ian
Holm passed in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
His last on-camera role, I believe, was in one of the Hobbit movies in like 2014. He was in Alien in 1979, and that is how they regenerate his face. And Tej, I believe you were saying it was partly animatronic, but also part of this is like digitally imposed. People keep calling it a deep fake. That's not actually what it is, but the loose term for it would be, I guess, to the layman, would be like a deep fake of Ian Holm digitally recreated onto this new AI robot. He plays a big part in this movie.
Yeah.
In fact, he's sort of the, outside of part of Andy's character, sort of the foil in this movie, like he is in Alien. And to me, I was like, okay, well, surely I wasn't really bothered by it at first. But then they keep kind of bringing him back.
Yeah, like he keeps on popping back up on screen. It's not just like a 1 or 2 scene thing.
And making speeches.
He is a character that matters in the third act of the movie.
He is like the main villain.
Yeah.
And we have said, especially, I think the bastardization of it really was, which was really bad, was in the Flash movie, where, we said this, that Christopher Reeve been dead, like Dex said, damn near 20 years, and they brought him back for a nothing cameo in this movie. I have to believe that they have the permission of Ian Holmes' estate. Otherwise, they
do.
Yeah, they wouldn't.
Yeah, he said it in the interview. And he said the right things. He said, he being
Fede Alvarez.
Yes, Fede Alvarez, the director of the movie, said, the real Ian Holmes, his family felt like and Ian himself felt like he had been shunned by Hollywood after Alien. It didn't really work out for him in terms of the acting stuff, and he got jobs sparingly, given how big and how well loved the movie is, and the fact that he's a main foil in the movie and probably is responsible for the most shocking moment in that movie outside of the actual reveal of the actual alien.
Yeah, I think when people realized he was an android in that movie, people were just
it's like a huge
blew
thing.
people's mind.
This is before the years where people log on to see spoilers on the internet or hear it on a podcast. So nobody knew when they walked into the movie theater that the guy you've been watching was a droid. Nobody knew there were droids in the world of Alien until this guy turned out to be a droid in the movie. Anyway, they said he felt like he had been shunned by Hollywood, and so the family was happy to have him work on it. And they said that he would have wanted to be in an Alien movie because he kind of had tried to be in other Alien movies behind the scenes and it wasn't really working out. And it is true. This is a true point, although I'm not sure how relevant it should be. Some of the other droids along in the Alien universe have popped up across multiple films, including Fassbender, but he's Michael Fassbender. Like he's
alive and with us. Yeah.
He's alive and with us, and he was a movie star at the point where they brought him back and the point where they hired him, which is Ian Holmes, who was just the guy who happened to play this character. But some of the other droids from the other movies have popped up in other movies. So he is the only one that has never popped up in another movie. And by he, I mean the likeness of Ian Holmes. He's only been in the one movie. So they want to bring him back. All that sounds good. That doesn't do anything for the fact that it's just to me, it's not a net positive or a net negative. I didn't necessarily care about it. I said, oh, that looks a little weird. And then I kept on enjoying the movie. I was a little surprised that he kept popping back up because I felt like that was going to be a one-time thing, a two-time thing maybe. But it didn't necessarily take away from my enjoyment of the film. Neither did any of the Easter eggs when she gets the pulse gun. Like, there are all these Easter eggs, and I always appreciate them. But I'm also the guy who has the horrible taste of liking Spider-Man No Way Home still to this day. Because everybody shits on that movie now. Everybody shits on that movie and calls it fan service.
Everybody, we were all there. We saw y'all clapping in the theater.
We knew there was going to be 3 Spider-Man, and I still was in tears in the movie theater.
Yeah,
I had a great time. What Norman Osborn did, what the Green Goblin did in that film, will be remembered in American cinema for the next 100 years. He literally got slammed through 7 floors of concrete. That was real cinema. Anyway, this didn't bother me as much as it bothered everybody else, but I do understand why people had issues with it. But I'm going to steal this from Roy, who said this, I think, before we started recording. If that's the only reason you didn't enjoy this film, you did it wrong. It's your fault. Now, if you had other problems with the film, and this happens to be one of the major problems, totally get it. And not everything's for everybody. But if you actually like Alien films, and your reason for not liking this particular Alien films is just because of that, you completely shut yourself off from having a fun time. Because there's enough cool shit in that third act to keep your attention, even though they keep cutting back to this random AI generated looking thing. That the elevator shaft scene and the scene where the gravity shuts off is cool as shit. That's so cool.
Look, my main problem with I'll say my main problem with it is that it looks the same as it did when they did it with Grandma Tarkin like 10 years ago, and that we haven't improved on it. We just haven't improved on it. It doesn't look good.
What technology are they using to bring Palpatine back in every film? Is that guy just like still alive, or did
he's
we
alive?
Him?
He's alive. They kind of did his. I think so.
Because Palpatine keeps coming back and ruining my life. When Palpatine showed up in The Rise of Skywalker, it was literally the worst moment of my life.
We knew it was over at that point.
That's when I officially knew this film is a piece of garbage.
We knew it was over at that point.
They started the movie and said, "Oh yeah, by the way, Palpatine's back." And I said,
"Whoa,
how are we starting at Palpatine? Get this movie the fuck out of here!" Immediately, I knew there's about to be some bullshit.
Somehow, Palpatine is returned. Yeah. Like, oh, fucking buddy.
Well, look, Ian McDermott is 80 years old now.
Okay, so he's alive, but
he is alive with us, and they took him and superimposed him because George Lucas can't let anything rest. He superimposed him back in those old movies too. So he's in those, but like Ian McDermott is still with us, yes. But they did this in Star Wars in Rogue One with the man who played, I think, Grandma Tarkin. Yeah, and they kind of did it in the last one because circumstances dictated. Carrie Fisher died in the middle of that movie.
Yeah, in the middle of filming.
They kind of had to do that with her in that movie. People didn't know how to feel about that one at the time. I think this didn't ruin the movie for me other than to say it just doesn't look good. That's my whole problem with it, is that they still haven't figured it out to where it looks. Once they figure it out to where it looks okay, maybe we're cooked after that because then they can just put anybody's face on anything and it's fine.
Yeah, we're screwed
But
at that point.
but there is still a uncanny valley with what this looks like, and I have a problem. I have a problem with that. Just cast a new actor for this, or a Richard E. Grant or an older British actor or something. Just throw them in there and let them cook on that for a little bit. But yes, Teach, to say, like, if this ruined the movie for you, if you went in and oh my God, this is the end of all cinema. I'm asking you to have fun for once in your life, because it isn't what the movie is hinged on in any sort of way. Yeah. Now, if like he was Andy for some reason, if like and he was running around the spaceship and stuff like that, I'd be like, oh, this is bad, but he's not. Yeah. He's a stationary character, sometimes projected to you over like a hollow screen, giving exposition.
I will say, because I am new to this franchise and really didn't pay attention to who was in anything, I had no idea that guy was dead. I just assumed that they it looks off, so I just assumed they did like an Irishman and had like the old guy and then tried to impose his young face onto something. I didn't realize dude was dead. That is kind of icky, but not icky enough for me to knock points off for the movie or anything.
When it becomes icky is when we start doing this without the estate's permission, and hopefully
that day is coming.
That day is coming. We're not there yet, which hopefully these actors have really good lawyers, because hopefully you're not signing your way in your likeness away in perpetuity to Industrial Light and Magic for the rest of your life. That's when we start getting into the weeds.
I don't remember where they landed on that with the strike, but I feel like that was one of the things they were fighting against. I don't know how that ended.
Yeah, they were.
But
yeah, you're not signing away your facial scans for the rest of your life.
It's
so
nasty,
once you die,
nasty. And they wanted there to be a world where there's no such thing as acting talent. You don't need to have actual actors. We can just digitally impose everyone into everything and make them do whatever they want to, and that will be a subsection of our cinema very soon. There are going to be people that are going to start playing around with it and making quote unquote movies in that way. So it is very dangerous for the people who perform in these movies, for sure, especially the dead ones who that one is it looks even more icky, but you could also be using someone's image that's alive right there down the street, ready for another paycheck. No, sorry, we already got you, bro. We just gonna keep running this same digital image that we got from you across 17 commercial campaigns or 2 movies, and you're not gonna get another paycheck. It's very nasty times.
Yeah, anybody could be in the Iron Man suit, really. We just need Robert Downey Jr.'s face.
Yeah, exactly. Just Robert Downey Jr.'s in this movie. He's on set for 4 days, and he's in the whole movie, because everything else, they're doing the MF Doom on us. Well, I guess I should clarify MF Doom the rapper, not MF Doom the superhero. Yeah. But MF Doom used to send people to the shows, and they started realizing he was popping up in 2 towns a night. It didn't make sense how he was there at 7 and the other place at 8 o'clock. He was sending a random nigga on stage to do the lyrics and put the mask on.
Was he really doing that?
Yes, he was doing that shit. But he got a little bit too big, so it came out. But when he wasn't that big, he was doing this, and they all had a good time at the show. They didn't realize that was MF Dude's cousin up there rapping the lyrics.
That's crazy.
Wearing the mask, yeah.
No, I think, look, I am vehemently against sort of the without permission renderings of people and their likeness, and using AI to do stuff where you could, because somebody still sort of had to perform that stuff for the face capture and stuff, but complete AI renderings and without acting talent around, there's levels to this, and I think I am not super qualified enough to go in, to this in full, but I will say that if you're going on Twitter and you were excited initially to see this movie and you saw that and you said cinema's dead, I don't know what to tell you. You're never gonna have a good time. You know what I mean?
An alien movie,
I don't know.
It's not a Barry Jenkins movie. I mean, Barry Jenkins is making movies about animatronic lions. Y'all are taking this stuff way
Those
more
lines don't
seriously than the
exist.
people that are making these things, bro. Like, I don't understand what the hubbub is about.
Yes, they
take it
could
that
have.
seriously.
Yes, they could have just recast another actor, which they probably should have done. Is where I stand on it. Will this even sort of, uh, age this movie for me when I go back and watch Alien Romulus on Hulu or whatever? Will this kill the movie for me again? No, I don't. I just don't think so. And I don't know how I contemplate that or how I make peace with that in my mind. It just makes sense to me, and I can't really explain it. Maybe I'm drowning here, but I don't know.
This movie's a good time. I was happy that they made it. I'm here for more Alien content. If they gave me there are legitimately bad Alien movies out there. They exist. Alien Covenant is a tough watch. Aliens 3, I watched it last night. Absolute snooze fest. I just can't believe that somebody with the actual talent of David Fincher was able to make a film in that way. But also, I want to go back to the Kaylee Spaney point. One of you said that she wasn't. What's the woman who Sigourney Weaver?
Yeah.
She wasn't Sigourney. It's hard to. I like the fact that they didn't try to make her another Sigourney. There was a rumor going around that this was going to be the reveals that she's going to be Ridley's daughter. We don't need to do none of that shit. We don't need to do the Rise of Skywalker taught us not to do that shit.
They did the Last Jedi. They're like, they don't matter.
Yeah, they're like, we don't need to do none of that shit. And I like the fact that she played it differently, and nobody can be what Sigourney Weaver was to those movies. She just even Alien 3, like, not a good movie. Like, she's still doing a good job. She's bald, and the most iconic meme of the actual series, if you just look at meme counts, comes from Alien 3. So there's like, she does some good shit in the movie. It's just a boring movie, but we all gotta just. I mean, this was a fun time. If you didn't have fun, I respect that as a criticism. But if your only issue is, oh God, they have an AI popped up in the movie like that, or they oh my God, they brought the guy back. Most of y'all didn't even fucking know this guy was dead. Like, let's be real, bro.
I had no idea.
Y'all didn't know this guy was dead. The alien stands did not know this guy was dead. They knew when he popped up on screen that wasn't the actual person, because you could tell by the way it looked. That's not the actual person, and then you made your inferences from there. But y'all didn't know that guy was dead. I had no idea the actor was dead until I saw it, and I said, okay, I know what they're trying to make, but that's not him because that looks funny. So it must be some AI fuckery going on. And then I went on with the movie. Like, that was it.
On a happier note, I gotta say, I have now seen chest burster scenes 4 times in the 4 Alien movies that I've watched. It rules every time. It's so good
every time.
That's big of you to say, considering your aversion to such things.
Yeah, it's gross and horrible, but it's so good. It's so cool.
This one, especially with the X-ray thing in the back.
The X-ray part of it made it so. Ugh.
I don't know about the one. I'm sure there is one in Alien Covenant and Aliens 3 and Alien Resurrections, which I haven't seen and probably won't, to be honest with you. But they're 4 for 4 in my book. They went crazy. That's so fire.
I will say about this movie that, all the movies have some sort of psychosexual undertones about them, especially the way that, the face huggers, especially, and, the way that the alien looks and the phallic nature of a bunch of stuff. And this one especially is like, super gross and kind of overtly sexual.
We fucking
when she had they had like a stick or something, or a 4x4 or 2x4, and they were like, there's like an alien hive thing on the ceiling, and she just like
it looks like a vagina.
Like, this is a rape scene. Like, what? Like, I understand what y'all are doing here. It's very, very overt. They're not on the nose about it at all. But I was like, all right, I guess we're doing it. Let's go. Let's do it.
Can we talk about Dora the Explorer giving birth to the barbarian?
So the barbarian, really.
Bro, that was insane.
Third act. Watch. The back end of the third act. So Kaylee Spaney's character, Kaylee Spaney's character, Rain, Isabella Marcet's character, which I'm blanking on what her name was, Kay, and David Johnson's character, Andy, all escape to varying degrees because Isabella Marcet gets fucked up. And they the whole point, which we were talking about which kind of does deduct a little bit of points, is that Rook, the character, which is a great name, chess piece, whatever, is trying to get them to take this synthetic, super. I don't even know what
It's
what
like
to
a
call it.
potion that's going
Yeah,
to make you like more of the perfect being. They're trying to
super
basically
serum.
synthesize. Yeah,
Yeah,
they're trying to synthesize the alien goo from Prometheus into like a super serum that could heal humans and kind of make us immune to the things that ail humans. And so
yeah.
they were going to inject her with that, but that's a callback in itself. And then she wisely doesn't do it because
It's literally a Chekhov's gun in the middle of the movie.
Chekhov's goo. I heard somebody
Yeah.
call it in a podcast. Chekhov's
Yeah.
goo.
Yeah, so it's the primordial goo that's been referenced forever, and then they have it in little vials. Anyway, she's sort of bleeding out. We find out early on in the movie that she is pregnant.
As soon as they said, "Yeah, I'm pregnant," I was like,
"Oh no,
that's going to be bad.
That is not going to be good
for anyone."
Right, and was the whole thought that she was maybe pregnant with that British guy, like Bjorn's baby?
I thought about that. I kind of got the same vibes, but I don't think they went there. But I was like, it's going to be his kid, isn't it? But I don't think they ever.
But he was also like cozy with Navarro and like was really trying to.
I feel like he was trying to get in. Yeah, I couldn't read what they were doing there. I had the same thoughts, but I couldn't read where they were going.
Yeah, so that might have been hinted at. Regardless, she's pregnant. She gets carried out by the alien. They find her. She's bleeding out. Andy says, inject her with this, basically. And she doesn't. She refuses to do it. She gets back on the ship. She's bleeding out again, waiting for them to come back. She takes the serum without Rain or Andy knowing. They start to go off into deep space, trying to get to this planet that they tried to go to since the beginning of the movie. And like all alien movies, just when things start to slow down, of course, a warning signal goes off. She's been in cryosleep in the pod. Rain brings her out, and she is actively now way more pregnant and giving birth. And it is disgusting.
That was so nasty. That's real cinema.
Horrifying.
I was horrified.
She has just this violent birth, which, like I said, the psychosexual undertones of this movie are crazy. She has this violent birth. She basically rips the umbilical cord. When she ripped
that umbilical cord, I went in my seat, bro. That stuff is gnarly.
I wanted to throw up. That shit was so crazy.
Awful. She rips the umbilical cord and she basically gives birth to like this kind of egg thing. And Kaylee Spinney tries to carry it away. It erupts into acid.
It got acid
because she has now given birth to a human alien
humanoid. Yeah.
This thing forms in record time. Comes out, and it is Boban Marjanovic. Like it is
there was Baby Wimby on the screen. I said, "Oh shit!"
It is the biggest thing that has ever been, and it looks sort of like the creators or the engineers from Prometheus. But it has alien characteristics. It's sort of hunched over, and it has this tail, and it's awful looking.
It's got these big ass holes in its back. It's just fucking gross.
Yeah, and this is actually played by a real guy who kind of just looks like that guy. He was a former basketball player, I believe. But what was his?
He was a former basketball player.
Bobrovsky?
Yeah, Robert Bobrovsky, and his title in the movie is Offspring. He is 7'7" from Romania.
He is really on Boban's block, and I don't appreciate that. But if it looked like Boban, we would have laughed. So I understand why you can't use Boban as that.
He is a Romanian basketball player. Let's look up his stats. 24 years old.
I guarantee you he wasn't getting no buckets because we've never heard of him, and he's 7'6".
Yeah, so he weighed just 190 pounds in high school. Yeah, it's not. Went to college.
He was on the Rochester University JV roster.
That's crazy. Wow. He is just having a much better time doing this. Size 17 shoe. That's crazy. Yeah, keep doing this. Keep doing weird roles. But yeah, he is on Boban's corner. Anyway,
being 7 foot plus and being mid at basketball is crazy. Like, I don't know.
Stinks. Yeah, I mean, some are saying about Wimby, but it is what it is. But no, what Dex? You wanted to talk about this scene. What'd you think?
I thought that was the grossest shit I've ever seen, and it was kind of awesome. Obviously, the movie, like I said, the movie goes on too long. They should have wrapped it up at some point. But after I got over my initial eye roll, oh my god, we're doing another thing. I was like, this is actually pretty fucking cool. And watching Callie Spaney like run away from this thing into the fucking desert room downstairs, whatever the fuck that was cool. She's down there in like the little mine where Aladdin found Genie. Like this shit. I don't know why that part of the ship exists.
It
or
did
what
kind of
it's
look like
for.
that.
I think it has like a coal mining whatever holler or whatever they're mining.
Oh yeah, they are coal miners. That makes
Yeah.
sense. Yeah. But yeah, that part of the movie was cool as shit. There are some great, like, very tense moments of just Callie Spaney and this barbarian thing running around the spaceship. And yeah, it also became a fucking Tom Cruise movie because she's like dangling off this goddamn spaceship
Yeah.
to the deep void as the alien like is cracking her helmet and shit. It was awesome. So yeah, like I said, once I get over the initial eye roll of oh my god, we're doing the alien movie thing where like the movie just doesn't want to fucking end. I was like, okay, this is actually a pretty cool way to like close this out. So
Yeah,
I
she
don't know.
also lets out like a "fuck you" at the end of the end of the thing.
You
It's
can barely
really
hear it.
good.
It's like drowned out by space. That was cool. That was
Yeah.
a cool effect.
Yeah, Tej, what'd you think of all of that? Especially, and the thing doubles back and like tries to and like drains his mother of her blood or whatever it is.
I think it's
like
because I've seen
yeah.
so many of these movies that I know that they don't end, so I didn't have the same issue of like this movie's not ending. I was vibing, man. There was some real gross shit in here. The violence is pretty cool in here. The way it looks great, and I just want to say that the Johnson performance just had me completely blown away. Like, it's one of the best performances I've ever seen in an alien movie. I'm not saying that in jest. Like, he is that good, and because he's got so much stuff to do, and because they're always kind of playing with because in the movie he is very loyal to Rain, but then they change out his chip with one of the old chips, and all of a sudden his task becomes like protect Rain at all costs, which means like I'm about to kill people that I think is infected, whether or not Rain wants it to happen. And that gets very interesting. And then obviously they switch him back for the third act. Now he's a good guy again. He's not stuttering anymore. I just thought that his performance on every level was just phenomenal. I cannot wait to see him in more stuff. I just saw something coming out that he's producing a show or writing a show, and he's going to star in it as well. I just want that guy to get more work. I'm sad that he's going back to TV. Obviously, he's still doing industry, but I hope he finds his way back to the big screen.
He's not in this new season of Industry, I don't think.
Okay, I was realizing I haven't seen him yet. I was wondering if they're just sidelined that character or are we going to come back to him. But I want him on the screen again. I just think that he's phenomenal. I can't wait to see what he does in the future. And I think that he was the star of the movie. For me, he was the star of the movie.
I started watching Industry. David Johnson has a wild line in the second episode of that show.
Whole show is crazy. Right?
And
you ain't seen nothing yet. The whole show is crazy.
Yeah, anyway, but I know David Johnson from Rye Lane, which is also on Hulu, which is one of the best romantic comedies that's come out in a while. And that character is sort of more related to who he is before he gets the chip switched out. But when he switches to, they give him a British accent all of a sudden and he's running around and he's a superhuman. It's just great. But no, in the third act, at the very, the final of this, I just had to, I really was like, I haven't seen anything like this before in an alien movie. Sorry, there's a spider. Continue. I gotta kill this thing.
Yeah, he rules in this movie. I thought I've never seen him before. I had no idea who he was. It feels like I recognize him from somewhere, but I was like, no, I don't think I do. But yeah, like I said earlier, man, like from the first time that he's on screen as like the timid, like stuttering kid or whatever who like is afraid to like go anywhere, do anything, getting beat up by random like kids or whatever. I was like just instantly compelled by him, and then they make him a badass for most of the middle of the movie, and I was like, fuck yeah, he's gonna kill these people, and like that's tough, but like it works, it's compelling, it makes sense. They like gave him a reason for all that stuff, like the programming, and Yeah, I thought that was like a cool. I haven't seen that in the other Alien movies, like switching them from like protecting one person to protecting the company to switching them back. Maybe they did it in the other Alien movies that I haven't watched, but I thought that was a cool like way to kind of make his character work and make him compelling. And the actor like was game for it. Was like all over it.
Yeah, because all the androids are always sort of end up being sort of these. Except Aliens guy is pretty, tame, but they all are sort of these one note, sort of conniving characters that always want to do good for the company, and this sort of. They're not. I was going to use the word altruistic, but that's not the word that I was like. One-minded, single-minded characters that want to perform this task and perform science, and there is AI, and maybe down deeper in this movie there's a little bit of a message about reliance on AI and stuff, but that's very surface level on all of this. But no, I appreciate the switch up of his character. A couple of things that I want to touch before we end our review here, but the have fun. Why don't people like Easter eggs with their people are real mad online about Easter eggs.
Yeah, I don't get it.
I mean, the "get away from her, you bitch" line, which we've been singing David Johnson's praises this entire time, it got a laugh from my theater.
Yeah, my theater laughed pretty loud at that.
But people online are just eye rolling.
Just have some fun and laugh, guys. It's supposed to be funny. The movie is aware of the fact that it's an Easter egg. They know it's over the top. He delivers it earnestly, but it's meant for a laugh. Please have fun at the movie theater, guys.
Yeah. Also, you said it, Tej. This feels like this is sort of the best Star Wars movie we've had since The Last Jedi.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah,
it just feels more like a Star Wars movie than what Star Wars has been.
For the first 15 minutes of the creator, I said, this is the best Star Wars movie I've seen in ages. And then came the last 2 hours of the creator. I was like, never mind.
The creator's good. I don't know why
isn't. The plot is so bad. It's so bad, but it looks so good and the vibes are high. But the plot is literally nonsense. It makes no sense.
So?
Yeah, who cares?
That's a good point. Who cares?
John David Washington saves the kid. Like, what else do you want? Like, that's all I'm here for.
I'm so interested in the career of John David Washington. I'm so interested in some of these guys that get the shots. He's got two quote unquote blockbusters back to back. One of them happens to be Tenet, which is one of the biggest movies in the world at the time. And then we haven't really seen him. It's not like we've seen him take supporting roles. We haven't really seen him do anything. In some time.
Not him.
Dex is not in. Dex is not in on him as a leading man. Dex is not in.
I just don't like his fucking voice, man. You sound like Eric Gordon. I need you to like.
Oh shit! Sound like Eric Gordon is not a compliment, by the way. If you don't know what Eric Gordon sounds like, it is not a compliment.
Sweet to see.
Like, bro, I know who your father is. Why do you sound like this?
Because he's raised in like Calabasas.
Yeah, he's not a bad actor. He's just not like the guy.
Not everybody is a leading man, and he's got his chances. And I wouldn't say that he's done a bad job at all, but I also wouldn't say that I've ever left a movie like, who fucking crushed it? John David Washington. I've never really.
We all came out of Tenet, and we were like, "Yeah, Robert Pattinson. That's Batman."
Yeah, that's Robert Pattinson guy. That guy fucking rocks. That's a movie star. That was our take. Like that guy's great.
Put a cape on that dude.
Yeah, that's the goddamn Batman. Let's move. John David Washington, you were just here. Like, it's cool, but
I don't know.
I want to get to a couple general movie takes. So, do we have anything else?
That has been Alien Romulus. I urge you to go see it in theaters. There's a couple things in here that we didn't even touch on. The space, the crash scene where the chest burster's coming out and the ship is crashing too was unbelievable.
Hell yeah,
for an
brother.
80 million.
That was cool as shit
for an $80 million movie. Ruled, awesome. But you cited the zero gravity acid scene. Incredible. And of course, the elevator shaft scene, which we've talked about, but also the scene where all of the face huggers come out, and there's like 80 face huggers
Oh my
that
god!
come after them, and they're fighting them off in that cooling room.
In the
We haven't
cooling
talked about
room.
yeah. Anyway,
That was so fucking dope.
so many things in here that you should go see this in theaters, and I urge you to. But you'll have a good time if you watch it at home when it comes out too. I think it's a pretty good horror film in that respect. So that has been Alien Romulus. More movie takes from Tej. Da, 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 da.
All right, I have to eat some crow on the podcast.
Mm.
First of all, speaking of Crow, the movie The Crow is the worst trailer that I've seen this year. That shit looks awful. Anyway,
I haven't even watched it yet.
It came on before Alien Romulus, and I think this is the second time I've seen it. That shit looks ass. Anyway, I saw the trailer in the theater for Joker, Follow Your Door, or whatever.
Oh,
the hell that
no.
Come on.
And I obviously have been slandering this movie online and on this podcast specifically. But I saw that trailer, and let me tell you something. Lady Gaga means something to me. She is a goddamn star. She cannot miss. I'm sorry. I am in. I am there. I am joining the incels in love and full support of the Joker 2. I'm sorry for ever slandering it. Lady Gaga will make me watch anything. She's so good. She's perfect.
Cannot miss. It cannot happen.
How dare you, Tej, leave me on this island by myself?
She is so
you coward.
compelling in that trailer. I'm not even watching Joaquin. I'm not even fucking looking at Joaquin. Lady Gaga commands the screen in a way that few people can. I don't care if she's using a weird Italian accent. I don't care what kind of movie she's making. If you put Lady Gaga in your film, I will go see your film. I just think that she's great. There's something about what she brings to the screen.
Good.
I just like, and I just think she's perfectly cast. The way that she's playing against his energy in the trailer, I'm already in. I'm just, fuck it. Let's sing. Let's be incels together. Fuck it. Todd Phillips, you got me back. I'm in. I'm there. I'm there, Nightmare. Let's do it.
I am so in. I've been on this corner the entire goddamn time. As soon as they said Lady Gaga was in the movie, I was like, well, I'm back. Joker 1 stinks. It shouldn't exist, honestly. It could have been, if it was just a normal movie and it wasn't like Todd Phillips looking at you every 30 minutes being like, hey, you've heard of Bruce Wayne, right? That's him. He's here. He's not like in the movie, but like he's here. He's right here. Look, if he didn't do that, Joker would have been fine. If it would have been just a movie called Arthur that wasn't related to the DC universe, it's cool. But anyway, Joker 2, I'm back in. I don't give a fuck. Like Lady Gaga's her. She cannot miss. The next time she misses will be the first. I will be there, locked in, night one.
Cowards, the lot of you. You can't stand on your convictions.
They
Lady
really
Gaga is my conviction.
Moment. I wanted to hate so badly, but they put Lady Gaga in the movie, and they know my kryptonite. I just think that she's great.
If they can make the singing make sense, because I cannot make that make sense in my mind how they're going to be able to do that. If it works, sure. I've been known to eat crow on this podcast before.
Are they just gonna have them on? Look, is that how they're gonna do it?
Yeah, i.e., just my take on Everything Everywhere All at Once. But
I also don't think that I knew that she was playing Harley Quinn. I didn't know what role she was playing in the movie. I had no idea. But I'm in. I'm sorry, Royden. I wanted to stand with you in solidarity, but I just
leave
can't.
me alone.
I can't.
Can I get off my very mild it ends with us take?
That it's fine and good?
Are you going to support Blake Lively on this podcast?
I am going to support Blake Lively on this podcast. She's America's sweetheart, and y'all won't make me betray her after like 18 years of bringing nothing but joy to our lives. Like, how could y'all betray her this way? What's wrong with you?
Did you see the interview clip? It was pretty awkward, brother.
Fuck her. I don't care.
I don't care. Fuck her.
Blake Lively made me feel bad in the interview. Good.
I'm gonna have to cut this. That's a hard clip.
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it. So like, literally, I don't know what happened in that interview. I did not watch it. Yeah, all this shit about
Christ.
All this shit about the director is like sounding so smart about this movie and is saying all these really great things about how important this movie is. It ain't fucking important. We're here to watch a Blake Lively love triangle. Like, what do you fucking mean?
I do agree with that. I do agree with that take. You're like, who?
Like, do you know what this is? Fam, I was in the theater. I don't remember if I went like Thursday or Friday. I went the opening weekend. And it was just
Ladies night out to the
Ladies
domestic
night
it was
out
violence.
just
in Nets.
a bunch of ladies in like, their little groups with their like matching t-shirts from their book club or whatever, just like snickering and laughing the entire movie. Like, be oohing and awing, and then like there were some like happy tear ahs like at the end of the movie. Like it wasn't some fucking, oh my god, this is the deepest, most brutal look at domestic violence. Like, no, that's not what this is. Like, we're all just here to have a good time, dog. Like, it's a Colleen Hoover novel.
In the domestic violence movie.
Yeah, like
Oh, okay. No,
we
okay.
love.
Sure, okay.
Love, spoiler, love wins. But
in the domestic violence movie.
It does.
I kind of like the concept of the man who directed the domestic violence movie, the domestic violence movie, who plays the villain of the movie, being the one who sounds reasonable and smart on the press, and people are like, "Yeah, see, he's the good guy," and it's like, yeah, that's because he plays the villain and he's had months to practice how he should do this. And Blake Lively, one, isn't the villain of the movie, but also obviously cares a lot less about his version of the film, which is why they're fighting in the first place. But the way that the people cut those clips on TikTok, that shit works, bros. I watched that clip. I was convinced Blake Lively is a horrible person. I was convinced.
I will not. I'm standing on my convictions. I will not turn on Blake Lively.
So for those
I've never watched Gossip Girl,
know,
so I don't have anything to do. I remember her from The Lady from the Town, and that is not a very memorable performance in my opinion.
She gave us The Town. She gave us Gossip Girl.
She's not good in The Town.
She gave us A Simple Favor. She gave us Accepted. How are you going to turn on Blake Lively?
Accepted is good, but I don't remember anything about that movie. I just remember that it's good.
A Simple Favor is the best movie that they've made. She's made, and they should definitely make.
Who else is in A Simple Favor?
Anna Kendrick.
I like Anna Kendrick.
Yeah, it's really good. Takes a wild turn, but it is very, very good. The thing for the uninformed, because we're kind of just talking. People may not know what this is about. It ends with us. Colleen Hoover, first adaptation of a Colleen Hoover novel. Which, again, if you don't know who Colleen Hoover is, congratulations, you've won. But Colleen Hoover got really famous, self-published author. She got really famous on Book Talk on TikTok. She is like making more money than God, like selling more books than the Bible. And this is the first one of her novels that has been adapted. Justin Baldoni wrote and directed this movie. In the middle of the movie, basically Ryan Reynolds was writing scenes for Blake Lively and stuff allegedly in this movie. They had a falling out. Justin Baldoni's not doing press with any of the other cast.
Yeah, he hasn't showed up to anything.
They're all doing press separately from him, which is really weird. And so then there's rumors that like it wasn't a great set or it was toxic or whatever. Then there was also counter rumors that Blake Lively was throwing her weight around. All that to say,
but there's also rumors that he fat shamed her and lingered on one of the kisses for a little bit too long.
Didn't hear that, but
it's my first time hearing that also.
So all of this to say, it is the most messy, weird drama for the biggest D+ movie of the year.
Is it better than Don't Worry, Darling? Is it better than that movie or not?
I don't know. I don't. But it's a nothing. It's not. It doesn't have anything to say apparently, and it's like nothing.
Have they been making a lot of money? Is it doing well?
Yes, doing great. Actually, it's going to make $100 million.
That means he lost. I mean, you lost the fight, brother.
But he won.
You lost the fight.
He directed it.
I mean, they both win because they win financially. But if you have a public split with the star of the movie and her happens to be also super movie star boyfriend. If that is the split, more people know them than you, and the movie actually performed financially well. Once they came in and started throwing the weight around, you lost. I'm sorry, brother. You just gotta tuck it in.
It's so weird. It like dominated Twitter for a minute, dominated TikTok especially too for a while. But it is so strange. But get used to it because we're about to see 1 million Colleen Hoover books made into movies. over the
Are they
next
all about toxic
decade.
love? I know
Yeah,
this is
it's
about toxic
to
love.
to a certain extent, or
They're not all domestic violence, but
no,
they're
not
all
all
toxic
bad.
love.
Got it.
Yeah.
But what
They're
about the
all
young girls
people being
and their
rescued from
sensibilities?
certain. I'm just saying this is what these movies they were going to make 1,000. But the thing is, from what I understand, and people can get mad at me or not, they're not like great. I've read some excerpts. They're not well written books either. So fun starting point. Anyway, what do I know? Colleen Hoover is a billionaire and could shit on us. So
I didn't know
whatever.
who she was until this movie came out. I had no idea about.
I've
who she
only
was or
read
what
one
book
of
she
her
was
books,
making.
and it was okay. It
So yeah, but
was one of those where like it wasn't good, but like I had to know what happens next, kind of things.
I assume she's white. I assume she's a white woman.
I
Yes.
also assume that. I've never seen a picture of her.
She is, in fact. Good for her. Success story, what have you. But we're going to see 1,000 of those. The big picture had a good point about this, where they don't know how to make romance movies, like specifically romance movies or romance books into movies, because the whole thing about romances, especially in these books, is that they are together. The whole thing is they get together early on in the book, and then it's whatever plays out after that. The whole thing about romance movies in the past is the chase of the romance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
will they? Won't they? Like,
Will they? Won't they? The thing about these romance books is that they're
They did.
together early. Yep, it happened, and it's whatever plays out after that.
Did you see this movie, Roy?
No, and
Okay.
I need to, because I'm talking about it, but I've read so much
Good.
about it that it's incorporated into my life now.
Are you gonna see it? Are you gonna watch it?
I think Caitlin and I will end up watching it. I don't know if I'll go to theater. I will let you know, but like I will probably whenever like everyone else on a Thursday night when it comes to Netflix, I will watch it because anyway. So
yeah, when this hits Netflix, it's over.
over. It's going to be on the front page, first day, #1 streaming. But anyway, any other movie takes that we need to get off our chest? Oh,
I just
what
want
do
to
you-
say real quick that It Ends With Us has made $180 million at the
God!
box office
That's so
Worldwide.
crazy, bro.
on a $25 million budget.
Yeah, they about to make all those books will be movies. That woman's about to make up. You think she got a lot of money now? Give her 5 years. She about to be rolling in the dough.
Rocket ship to the
Y'all remember
moon.
when they made every Nicholas Sparks book into a movie?
Yeah, that I was just gonna say that.
It's this. It's
They
just
made one and then they made 50.
It's millennial Nicholas Sparks.
Also, she's apparently from Sulphur Springs, Texas. Shout
She
out.
is, in fact, yeah.
Okay. Shout out Texas.
Self-made woman. I mean, like I said, great for her, but I'm just like, I don't know if I'm prepared for all of these movies. And this is 3 dudes with microphones on a podcast
She's about to be
talking,
making all types of money. Oh,
but she's
my
gonna have more
Lord.
money than J.K. Rowling. Like it's gonna be crazy.
And now every young
Good.
starlet is gonna be like, put me at the center of the next one. Oh, they're about to roll in the dough.
Hey,
Yikes.
Florence Pugh is gonna get in one of these movies, and she's gonna
She
win an
will.
Oscar. I'm
And
telling
then
you
I
now.
will pull up. I won't pull up for Blake Lively, but you put Florence Pugh in the middle of one of these things, I'll be right there with the ladies on Girls Night. I'll be right there.
I'm just asking us to choose better material for women to go to the theater than
Why?
this
They're gonna
stuff.
choose
But
material that makes the most money. They don't give a shit
Yeah.
about the
They want
material.
no hard feelings, Royden.
Oh,
Right.
God.
It ends
Hey,
with-
I support Florence getting a check. If she can make Don't Worry Darling even remotely interesting with that dumbass movie, then she can make anything good enough to watch. I'm in. Florence Pugh, I'll be there.
yeah, so you might have a point that this is going to be vehicles for anyone under 25. Well, I guess Blake Lively's like 40, but anyone under any new starlet coming up is going to get the Colleen Hoover
it's
check.
gonna be I guess I better get familiar with the universe of Colleen Hoover because I'm going to be seeing it on screen.
Go to any bookstore; they are front and center.
front
Dang.
and center.
So what are we watching? I'll just start. I watched the Instigators, the new Casey Affleck, Matt Damon movie on Apple.
Is it good?
You could do worse. It's not good, but it's fun. I had a good time.
Has anyone seen the
stupid.
Halle Berry and Marky Mark one?
No.
No, apparently I saw somebody write a review for that said probably written by AI.
That's funny.
Yeah. So, No, but like you can do worse than Casey. Like I don't know how we all feel about Casey Affleck anymore, but
He's okay. Oh well, he's. Oh, that's
yeah,
right. We canceled him.
yeah.
Didn't
I don't know
we? I
where we
forgot.
stand with that, but he keeps popping up in shit. So I don't know I don't know how to make of that. But Matt Damon's willing to go to bat for him. So no, I thought you could do worse. It's like the most 2.5 star, 3 star movie on the planet. And Casey Affleck and Matt Damon arguing with each other and quipping with each other in Boston accents. Yeah. All right. Sick. Give me 3, But yeah, so I watched that recently. Oh, and I started like I do with all shows, I'll watch like 5 episodes, but I did start what did I say? The HBO show that is coming
Industry.
Industry.
Yes.
I did start Industry.
I'm also watching Industry.
Was so confused because half the people are English and half the people are American.
Americans, yeah.
All right. Anyway,
Dex, what are you watching?
So I watched It Ends With Us, obviously. I watched the 3 other Alien movies before I saw Alien Romulus. And then last night I meant to sit down and watch a new movie, something new to me. And instead I just watched Theater Camp again, which still rules. That's hilarious.
Good way to spend an evening.
Becoming one of my favorite movies. I love that so much. And it's so easy to watch, easy to throw on. You can do other stuff while it's on and still be having a great time. Like, I just love Theater Camp. If you haven't seen it yet, you need to see it.
Since our last episode, I've watched Bad Boys because I did a podcast with the guys at MC University about Bad Boys, the original one. I also have seen 2 movies in theaters that we didn't talk about. I've seen Sing Sing, which is going to be an easy Oscar layup. It's phenomenal. The performance at the center of it, which is not going to be the performance you think by looking at the bill, is some of the best shit you're going to see this year on a movie screen. It's just a really well done movie. It's complete Oscar bait. It's perfect Oscar bait, but not in the way that feels cheap. A lot of people are going to, when the screeners start going around, a lot of Oscar voters are going to be very into this movie. I think that it will feature somebody who's nominated for either Best Actor or Best Supporting Actor, and it also will be nominated for Best Picture for sure. So I highly recommend Sing Sing. It's been releasing slow to certain areas, but it is an incredible film. So
that and Dee Dee, like I can't find anywhere.
Yeah,
I really want to see Dee Dee. I haven't been able to find it either, but
I think Dee Dee played in one Alamo Draft House in Austin like a week ago, and I could, these slow rollouts, man, I get it, but the slow roll of like the Sing Sing played in festivals last year. Let me see the movie.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's a movie. And then I saw Cuckoo, the Hunter Schafer led horror movie. It's got the awesome trailer. A fun time for 2 acts, and then the third act is a complete piece of shit, like complete garbage that fell off the cliff. And I got some problems with Neon because this is a Neon movie, just like Long Legs is. By the way, we should note that Long Legs is over $100 million now at the box office, still doing very good business. Between Cuckoo and Long Legs, I feel like we got 2 half-baked ideas that were very cool, but we put style over substance, and our final act is just a complete goddamn shit show. And I'm not into that. I'm not sure how many people saw Cuckoo, but I had a good time for 2 acts. And then the third act is a complete, like, oh, this script is garbage, and y'all didn't know what to do, and now we're watching this bullshit. But I did enjoy the first 2 acts. It wasn't the best thing I've ever seen for the first 2 acts, but it wasn't bad. And Hunter Schafer's performance is good. I like Hunter Schafer. She's from Euphoria, and I liked her as a scream queen. I thought she was great.
$5 million on a $7 million budget. I don't think they knew. I don't think anybody knew what that was about. I think people were just kind of
it's about some bullshit.
I've heard the name and I've seen the poster or whatever. I haven't seen the trailer. Is it related to One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, or is it just okay? It's another thing. Okay,
it's about some bullshit. It's about some absolute bullshit. But
spoil it here. What happens? I'm not going to watch it anytime soon.
No, it's okay. So the movie is about a girl.
Okay, yeah, sure.
The movie is about a girl who's Hunter Schafer, who's American, who moves to Germany with her dad and her stepsister and stepmom, and weird shit is happening in Germany. Like as soon as she gets there, Everything is fucking weird. And she keeps having these. The sister is mute, and the sister is weird as shit. And the sister has like a seizure, and so they don't know what's wrong with the sister. There's this guy who runs this resort that right near where her dad is. Literally everybody in this little town in Germany is weird except for her. Her dad, her mom, her sister. Everybody's fucking acting weird, and weird shit keeps happening. You find out that there's this lady that they call the cuckoo lady that is going around and killing people, killing the wives of people in really weird ways. And there are these moments where the main character gets involved in some shit's going down. All of a sudden, shit starts going backwards, and she starts reliving moments like second to second over and over again. She gets caught in these loops. You don't know what the fuck is happening. You don't know why all this is happening. So it turns out that they are breeding these cuckoos, which is basically a breed of human that are special, that they're mute people. They can't talk, but when they get near you, they can put you into these little time loop things. And so they have like a superpower, but they can only be bred through humans. So it comes to find out that her dad, and the way that she keeps having these weird conversations with her mom on the phone, that you can obviously tell something's going on with the mom. Well, the mom is dead because the mom birthed her, and the mom was used to make other cuckoos, and the little girl is also a cuckoo. So then they have a big fight at the girl boss at the end. And there's like 19 guns in this movie, a lot of gunfights in this movie. For some reason, it's a horror movie, and the last gunfight goes on for literally like 25 minutes, but nobody gets shot. It's like a complete mess at the end. It's a complete mess.
That sounds not
awful.
It's a really awful. The movie is better than how I described it, but only for the first two acts. Then it's a complete piece of shit. But Hunter Schafer at the center of it is doing some really interesting stuff. I would like to see her again as a scream queen and something that's actually good. But I did enjoy this. I'm sad that it's not doing any business, but also nobody should subject themselves to watching this film, so I don't blame them.
Well, that has been a One Take Podcast. You can find us at One Take Podcast on Twitter, One Take Podcast on Instagram, not Facebook. Who does Facebook? Instagram, TikTok, the like. Go or on YouTube. Go download and subscribe to see these unedited videos in real time. You can see our faces and comment on whatever you would like. But also, you can comment on the reviews. If you leave this podcast a review, I will pay you $1. $1.
He said it, not me.
Take that to the bank, guys. Get $1.
I'll pay you $1
Go ahead and do the damn thing.
Out of a to be named trust that I haven't set up yet. But yeah, go leave us a review on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. We'd really appreciate that. Next week, we are going to do Blink Twice.
I was going to ask you which one.
Oh, yeah.
Blink Twice coming out.
You mean Pussy Island?
Yeah, Pussy Island, which they should have never
We're calling
changed.
it Pussy Island.
Saltburn 2.
Yeah, they should have never changed the name of that. It has a 78 right now on. They've already released the reviews for it. 78 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, really? It's at 78?
Yeah. So it could be anyway. It could be great. It could be a mega piece of shit. We'll see.
I'm not looking forward to a week of Zoe Kravitz in the press. Please stop talking to us, Zoe Kravitz. I'm begging you to stop putting quotes into the press. Thank you. I love you. Please.
Is she saying odd shit? What's she doing?
Oh my God! Last week she said she doesn't understand why we can't still revere the works of canceled artists like what's the guy who made Chinatown? That guy who was raping kids. Polanski. She says she doesn't understand why people like Roman. We can't appreciate the good with the bad with people like Roman Polanski. Isn't that literally the story of America? That was her quote, and she thought she ate that, and she didn't eat that.
Not my America. Not in my locker room.
That's nasty, Zoe Kravitz. Please stop talking to us. Don't spend this week talking to us. Just put Pussy Island out. We're going to pull up from Pussy Island. We're going to cover Pussy Island on this podcast. Please don't talk to us in the press anymore. Thank you.
I got to tell you.
Thank you for being Catwoman. It changed my life. Thank you so much.
We're going to review that movie. We may be the only 3 people in America that go see that movie.
Yeah.
I just don't foresee a world where that makes any money.
Hey, it's got Channing Tatum, man. People like Channing Tatum.
Yeah,
he's Gambit.
People like to see Channing Tatum. Maybe he gets a bump off of the Deadpool and Wolverine.
He's gonna make a name for himself here.
About to make a name for himself out here. All right, we've gone on too long. We're out.
That's like Sport Farms Pew.
Oh yeah, that too. Now we're out.